words can read. Why hello people of Booktube and welcome to another video. Do you know what guys, today I'm doing a tag video. And you know, yeah I know, I haven't done a tag video in like forever. I could not remember the last time I did a tag video. And I believe I've still got a massive list of tags I still need to do that I have been tagged from people to do. So I will eventually be doing these tags and I'm going to attempt to maybe do like one a week or something. But let's get started. So this is the most recent tag that I've been tagged in and it's called the Bookish Bookin book tag. And this was created by Becca Awesome Booknut, a very fantastic booktuber. She is one of my lovely friends and I will link her channel in the description box below, as well as Lisa from City of YA Books, who is the person who tagged me in this to do it. So thank you very much to Lisa for tagging me and for Becca for creating this tag. So this tag consists of several questions and I've already found my answers to the questions, so I'm going to be placing book covers here on the screen because the majority of these books I don't actually own. And I'm also going to be reading off of my phone here, so that is why I'm going to be looking in this general direction. The question number one is, what is a well-loved book that you hated? Now the trouble with me is I don't really actually hate books. I don't think there's actually a book that I've ever been like, oh my god, that book is disgusting, I hate it with a vengeance. But no, I cannot think of any book that I hated to that point. There are certain books that I haven't enjoyed as much as everybody else has. The first of which is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and everybody's been raving about this book on BookTube and saying how amazing it is. And the trouble is, I went into this obviously with high expectations and I found that I didn't really enjoy it as much as everybody else did. I was skipping over the fan fiction, and the funny thing is I actually bought the Carry On book, which is meant to be based on the fan fiction. But I think the reason why I skipped over it is because I was enjoying the general story of Fangirl more than the actual fan fiction. So I think maybe if Fangirl just had it as a complete story without the fan fiction, then I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy that book as much as everybody else. Question number two is, what is a guilty pleasure book read to you? So for me, those are like vampire books. For some reason, when I start reading a vampire book, I get really like, oh my god, yes, like serious enjoyment out of it. So one series I recommend, there is one book here but it is very tightly packed in and I don't think I can actually get it out because it's tightly packed in. But this is the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead, and she is so awesome in this series. Like, it's really good. So that is one vampire series that I recommend to all. There's also the House of Night series that I really enjoy. There's just something about vampire books I really enjoy. And Julie Kagawa's trilogy, her Mortal Rules trilogy, I think it's like the Blood of Eden trilogy. It's something like that. I cannot think of the top of my head right now, but that is an awesome vampire trilogy. And I've got the actual like third and final book here somewhere. There it is. It's right at the very top, so you might not be able to see it, but I still got to read the Forever Song. Still have to, but I've been holding myself off reading it because I know that number one, I'm going to enjoy it, and number two, it's going to break my heart. Like, oh. Question number three is, have you ever spoiled a book for someone, and if so, which book? So the answer to that is no, because I'm not a book spoiler person. I wouldn't like it done to myself, so I wouldn't do it. The funny thing was, actually, I started watching the new Star Wars The Force Awakens film with Sean the other night, and I fell asleep halfway because I was just so knackered and tired. And then I woke up and he started talking about it, and then he spoiled me on something that happened in the movie, and I was like, Sean, I was asleep. And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot you were asleep, sorry. And I think he feels so bad about it. And then the funny thing was, I rewatched the rest of it that I fell asleep to, and then I saw him later when he finished work, and I said that I saw it, and he was like, oh yeah, what did you think about it? And I was like, yeah, I enjoyed it, especially the part that you told me what happened. He was like, really sheepish. So yeah, I'm not really too bothered about things like that. If it was more of a big fandom that I enjoyed, I would probably be absolutely distraught. So I know that I wouldn't like it done to myself, so I wouldn't do that to other people. Question number 4 is, what book made you ugly cry? So for this book, I am going to say The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Of course, it's one of those big books that you expect that is going to make you cry, and of course I love and adored it, and it did make me cry so much. Another book is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. Fantastic book, I absolutely love it. I recommend that contemporary to absolutely everybody. It was so great. Like, absolutely great. It's just one of my favourites, but my god, did it make me bawl with tears. Just, my god. And books by Kamal Kant, and I place a picture of the book here that I read, and this made me really ugly cry. And a lot of you probably haven't heard of this book because she's like more of an independent author, and I think she should get more of a shout out for this book because it was absolutely fantastic, and I've read 2 books by her and they were both really good. I just love the writing and everything, and I just absolutely recommend any book by her. And I need to like read her other books as well, and they're really cheap on the Kindle, so if you have a Kindle then definitely check them out on Amazon. They're only like a couple of pounds, and just absolutely fantastic work. But those are the books that made me ugly cry, and it's very rare for a book to actually make me cry. Question number 5 is, what is the latest book that you DNF'd? So I haven't DNF'd a book for a while. I tend to sort of, what I've been doing lately is reading a few chapters from each book and putting it down, and I know The Raven Boys is one of them. It's actually here, and I've got to, I don't know what chapter this is, like chapter 6 of this, and I put it down. Like, there's just so many books, and more books tend to grab me more, and I also try and avoid reading slumps by doing this. I'm like, look, if I'm really not enjoying this book and yeah, my mind is leaning towards that book, then I would tend to read that said book just to avoid getting a slump. Because if I force myself to read this book rather than that book, you know, that's just when my mind goes a bit crazy. So the last book that I DNF'd officially was Between the Lines by Jodie Picoult and Samantha Van Leer, and reason being it's just written very childishly, and I just wasn't getting into it, and I wasn't enjoying it at all. Even though loads of people loved it, I think I just seem to have a funny thing about very hyped up books. Maybe I just don't enjoy books that everybody says are absolutely amazing and wow. I don't know. Question number 6 is, which book have you read due to controversy, or controversy, however you'd like to say the word? And the book that I can think of is Girl Online by Zoe Stark. I do have the sequel here, Girl Online on Tour, and I absolutely loved Girl Online. It's so good, it's really inspirational, it really made me smile. I really honestly don't care if it was ghost written or not. I enjoy the story for what it is, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I just love it. It made me want to blog again, it made me enjoy reading, it made me want to venture around the world, and books that do that to you are amazing. So I'm recommending that book as well, and I do need to read this continuation of it because it's such an easy read as well, and I feel like it's a sort of book that will help you out of a reading slump because it's just so easy going and flows really easily. But yeah, I loved it, and that's why I read it. Question number 7 is, have you read a book where you questioned the author's sanity? So for this I'm going to go with J.K. Rowling, the massive author of the Harry Potter series, all because, okay, spoiler alert, why kill Hedwig? Like, why? And why do the other people have to die as well in the last book? Why? Just why? Serious? Why one of the Weasley twins? Just why? Why? Where is your sanity, J.K. Rowling? There was just no need, but Hedwig. There was no need to kill Hedwig. Question number 8 is, what is the most cringe-worthy book you've read? To read in public, I would say The 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. However, the funny thing was I actually turned out to enjoy the storyline more than the actual like sex stuff. I enjoyed like the backstory of it. So there was just something weirdly addicting about the book, even though obviously yes, it's badly written and everything, but there was just something about the book that was pulling me into it. But yeah, it was very obviously cringe-worthy to read in public, but luckily at the time everyone was pretty much reading it, so I think we were all in the same boat. Question number 9 is, what book have you read solely due to the cover? So for this I'm just going to say the Mortal Instruments series, or the Infernal Devices trilogy, or you know, there's Lady Midnight, just all of those books by Cassandra Clare. I love the covers. So I'm going to show you this one. So this is Clockwork Prince, and I just think they're really great. They're sort of mysterious, they're sort of metallic, but obviously these are the American hardbacks, whereas the UK paperbacks don't have that sheen to them, and this is what I like about the, you know, the American ones. Plus the paper feels so nice as well. So if you're a real big fan of these series, I recommend you get the hardback books from the Book Depository if you're from the UK or Europe. And you know, I've got Clockwork Angel here. They just, to me, they are so beautiful, and that was the reason why I actually picked up the first book, City of Bones, and I also picked up, obviously because everyone was reading it, but when I picked up the really beautiful covers, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read it now. Question number 10 is, name a book that you're embarrassed to admit that you've read. It's kind of hard to say really, that there aren't really any books that I sort of, you know, I've read it and I'm like, oh, I'm embarrassed that I've read it now, because it just made me cringe to have read it. But I suppose in a way 50 Shades, I don't know, just I feel a little embarrassed that I've read it, but then I don't. Question 11 is, name an unknown book that you wish more people know of. So for me, I'm going to recommend the Unremembered trilogy by Jessica Brody. And I do still need to read the third and final book. Again, for reasons like the Forever Song, I am holding off of it because I absolutely love the series. In fact, I kind of want to reread the first 2 books before reading the third, just to sort of like reboost my love for it. But at the moment I'm just like, you know, I need to read the books that I haven't read first. So I think I'm going to read a few of the series of books that I've yet to read here, in order for me to reread those so that I can read the final book. But I've got like 3 or 4 copies of the first book because they had cover changes, and the publisher in the UK very kindly sent me the new edition of the cover as well. So I've got like, I think I've got about 3 editions of the book. I've got like the proof copy, the first version, and then the new one. And yeah, it's just, I don't want to throw them away because I love it so much, but it's so good. It's just about this girl, and she's waking up with no memories whatsoever on this beach, and then she discovers this family, and then she discovers more about herself, and then there's this mysterious boy who's claiming that he loves her and blah blah, but she doesn't remember it at all, and someone is after her, and it's just, you know what, I just love mysterious things like that. Books that have characters that just literally do not remember anything about them, I love them because I can learn about them with them. It's awesome. Question number 12 is, name a favourite villain. So for me, I always say this, but Lord Voldemort is like probably one of my favourite villains. Even though he's a nasty piece of shit, I absolutely love and adore him. He's just funny, he's hilarious, even in the movies. He's just very sarcastic, and I just enjoy him. And you know what, I love him. I find him hilarious, even though he's evil, but I love it. Question number 13 is, name a book that you enjoyed that you read that is outside the normal genre that you usually read. So for this one, I'm going to say The Girl on the Train, and this book obviously is an adult thriller. I read it purely because everybody else was reading it. It was also the Waterstones book club book of the month or something. And I saw it in Tesco's for like half price or something, or for very cheap. It was like maybe £5 I think it was for the hardback, and I was like, you know what, I want to give it a read just to see what everybody's talking about. I'm always curious like that. And I read it, and you know what, I actually really enjoyed it, and I was reading it and I was talking about it at work because some colleagues noticed I was reading it. They were asking if it was good, etc, etc, and I was like, you know what, it actually is. And I did actually really enjoy it. I very rarely do I read an adult book, and just when I get books like that I enjoy, you know what, it's awesome, it's awesome. Question number 14 is name tropes that you actually enjoy reading. So just all things in books that you enjoy happening. So for me, I actually agreed with Becca Olson Booknut on this. I was like, yes, Becca, yes, because I enjoy these things too. And just to repeat on it, it's just when the main two characters, whether it's a guy or a girl or whatever, when they hate each other, like literally hate each other throughout the majority of the book. I love it. Something, and you know that they clash, and you know that they're hating each other, but you know what, there's something that's there. I love it. And again with the bad boy, who doesn't like bad boys? That is awesome. And just to enunciate earlier, you know, when I said that I like it when, you know, the character has lost their memory, they don't know anything about their life, their name, their family, etc. I just love when that happens in books as well. And finally, question number 15 is what or who inspired you to join BookTube? So for me, I actually started my blog about a month before I started BookTube. I was like, you know what, I want to actually start a blog for my books. So I started doing like book reviews on my blog, and then I discovered BookTube. I honestly cannot remember how I discovered BookTube. I think I was just sincerely browsing on YouTube, and then I came across some book videos. I think the first book that I remember was Padfoot and Prongs channel, and I started watching her videos. I kind of started binge watching her videos, so she was actually probably the first booktuber, and then there was Little Book Hour. So it was between those two videos, and then obviously I found Christina from Pearl and Bananas Books, and then Jessie, and then so on and so forth, and I was just watching these videos, and I was like, you know what, I want to do this myself. And you know, I've been on stage in front of people. I don't really find it weird talking to a camera, which is bizarre. I don't know, but that is literally how I discovered BookTube. And you know what, I've been doing it for over 3 years now, and I think it's absolutely bloody fantastic. And I think if you're interested in doing it, I think everybody should. Just, I love it. I love finding new people. I love talking to books. I love reviewing books. Books are awesome. Love it. So I'm going to tag at least 3 people. I'm going to leave their channels in the description box below, but I'm also going to tag you guys to do this video, because I think you should. If you're watching and you got, you know what, you should do it. You should do it. But if not, then please do let me know what you would answer to the questions down in the comments below. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know down in the comments below. You can write your answers to the questions, because I will leave the questions in the description box below. If you want to know all the questions, then feel free to do that. But this video has turned out to be long enough, and I'm going to end it now very subtly. But thank you very much for watching my video as always. Hopefully it's not too long for you guys, but thank you if you have watched all of it, so thank you so much. And I'll see all of you wonderful, fantastic, awesome people. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. See you in the next video.